Hey everyone, what's up? It's Sarah and welcome back to my channel. As you guys have mentioned in the last video, I'm kind of obsessed right now with trying out like frames that I've bought online because this is like a relatively new phenomenon, or maybe it's been around for 100 years and I just am now learning about it. But I think it's so cool that you can just like plug in your prescription and well, they do take kind of a long time to come. These are from iBuyDirect. Not sponsored, but hey, holler at me. But anyways, it's just super fun and they're so much less expensive than just regular like designer frames. So I am having fun. I think these kind of make me look like I have a unibrow, but that's okay. So in today's video, oh my gosh, just yesterday, this breaking news about the Snowdens hit TMZ and People, and everyone's talking about what's going on. So just right off the bat, I'm gonna kind of be giving a high level overview about what has happened, and then I'll link the People article and the TMZ articles if you want more specifics. Plus, on Reddit, TMZ, People, on Instagram, the details are out there. So what has happened is that Christeline, which we are watching currently on Seeking Sister Wives season 3, she is dating Dimitri and Ashley. I don't even know how you really she's dating Dimitri and she's a potential sister wife for Ashley. She is from South Africa. It looked like they had a really good visit. Remember, she's the blonde Bombshell. I'll put her picture up here. Well, she just filed to get a restraining order against Dimitri and Ashley. And this is because of physical DV. She describes instances where she's been pushed, shoved, bottle was thrown at her by both Ashley and Dimitri, and that some intimate moments with Dimitri turned violent in nature. So that is really horrific. What actually is even more horrific is there is a Facebook community where there are multiple women who have dated the Snowdens that are coming out and corroborating this, saying that this happened to them too. So this is not an isolated incident. Now, the restraining order was granted in the case for Dimitri, but according to the People article, at the time that they printed it, which was early this morning, they hadn't yet granted a restraining order against Ashley because they needed more evidence. So we'll see what happens there. But man, I just want to give my take on their relationship and just polygamy in general. And then I'm going to touch on what I think is going to happen with the rest of season 3, because people are speculating that TLC might yank it. So I'm going to be completely honest, of all the couples, and maybe it's just my own naivety, of all the couples that I thought would be involved in like physical DV, I did not get that vibe from Dimitri, and that could totally just be me. I don't know. I just didn't get that vibe from him. The things that always like really horrified me about the relationship was how involved their children were in courting a potential sister wife. I always thought that they threw these kids at these women. We saw it with Vanessa. We saw it really with Taylor as well. I think, Christeline was really connected with the children too. And I always thought that was just so unhealthy to put your kids through that when you are not 100% sure something is going to work out. Now, I'm looking at it through a different perspective. I'm looking at it as I see these kids in these scenes run into the arms of Vanessa and Taylor and Christeline. And it's like, is their home life so toxic that this is like an escape? That's just I'm looking at it through a different lens now, that are these women outlets for these kids? And that is really sad to think about. Another thing is that with the Snowdens, I always had the perception since they've been on the show that, you know, I had always had the perception that, you know, on the show that they were actually both super into the idea of polygamy equally. Now it almost seems, and this is kind of a reach, and I realize that, but you know, these like couples that get together and like commit crimes, like a Bonnie and Clyde, or like Carla Homolka, and I forget her husband's name, but that was like, there are these couples that get together and they kind of just become monsters. And did each one of them, Ashley and Dimitri, did each one of them have this in them? And then together it's just like an inferno, that like these women are just under their thumb and under their control under the guise of polygamy and being a sister wife. Because what's described in the restraining order and what's described on the Facebook threads that many women have commented on, it's all about control. And it seems like when one of the sister wives deviates or asserts her independence is when things turn physical. And so when we were first introduced to Dimitri, and Dimitri reiterates that in this season, is the reason why, even though they're not interested in polygamy for religious reasons, it's all about femininity and feminism and the woman being the center of the family. But if Ashley is equally participating in dominating, then this seems like you want a subject, you want a servant, you want someone to maybe sleep with your husband when you're not feeling like it, and someone to watch your kids. And what kind of toxic environment are those kids living in? And are those kids on the end of any of this DV? That is just a horrifying thought. And the fact that Christeline does mention in her report that her kids were scared and they had witnessed this stuff. Oh my gosh. And, you know, just to go a step beyond, because this is how I personally feel. I feel like if you are a consenting adult and you enter into a consenting relationship, so you're of age, you're of legal age to give consent, and you're in a relationship, however untraditional it might appear to the outside world, if that is your jam, I have absolutely no problem with it. The problem that we see in a lot of these polygamous relationships, and why a lot of us are talking like this really might not be the healthiest lifestyle, is because we see a lot of controlling, domineering male figures. We see at least one woman that's on the end of like total emotional neglect and manipulation. And now we see physical altercations occurring. This does not make a happy, healthy family. You know, we'll see what comes out about the Joneses with Tasha and Sidian. But they were the other couple besides the Snowdens for me that I thought might actually have what it takes to make a polygamous relationship work, because I think both partners want it equally. My husband's going to come on the show on Saturday and we're going to talk about Garrick and Danielle, and how Danielle literally said that she wouldn't live this lifestyle if it were up to her in this last episode. So it really, like, under the whole umbrella of polygamy and polyamory, I have to believe that there are couples and families out there that are making it work, that they have it down. I almost feel like you might need like a polyamorous or like a polygamous expert therapist that is like every week doing like marriage and family therapy sessions to make sure everyone, and like if all the members that are participating equally, that they're all on the same page and feel like they're all getting what they need out of the relationship. I kind of feel like that might be the only way to make a relationship like this work. Hell, like therapy for monogamous couples is great. So it just, we haven't seen with Sister Wives, with Seeking Sister Wives, we haven't seen an example of like a happy, healthy, plural marriage. It always seems like someone is getting left out, someone's getting manipulated, and it's really hard to watch. And now that we see these accusations against the Snowdens, it really, I'm very interested to see what happens. I hope more information comes out, but we now see many women echoing the same things that Christeline has said in her police report and her request for a restraining order. Now I want to talk about, and I posted this on my Instagram and on the community tab on YouTube yesterday. Sorry, I just got an Amazon delivery. About what I think Discovery and TLC is gonna do when it comes to this season. So I really don't think that they're gonna do anything. I don't think that they're even going to edit out the Snowdens, which they could easily do. When you look at people that constantly get recast, like Angela on 90 Day Fiance, or Jeffrey, well, he hasn't been recast, but Jeffrey, they never edited him out. They just didn't invite him to the tell-all. And he had prior charges to even being cast on the show. Then we have Big Ed. There are so many other, what happened with Stephanie and Ryan on this most recent season of 90 Day Fiance with the stealthing, and then they bring Ryan on Bears All. It's unbelievable what they're willing to overlook when it comes to their casting and what they will continue to air. The only times I've seen production stop with a family is briefly with the Duggars, and then they just edited out they just really edited down the parents and made it more about the kids. And then Josh was just not on the show anymore. But they still continued to film. And then WeTV, was it WeTV or TLC? Oh, I think it was TLC, where it was Here Comes Honey Boo Boo, where they canceled the show. Those are the only two times I can recollect at the moment that production has actually taken a stand against something. And there has been some seriously problematic things happen on these shows and with these cast members. I would really think that they would not film Ryan anymore, especially since that happened while they were filming. So I don't know. They might put a disclaimer. Doubt it. They might edit them out altogether. I seriously doubt it. Interestingly enough, Taylor, who's the other sister wife that they're courting at the time, yesterday put this on her Instagram story, sending love to Chrissy. But the day before, when all this, there was or I think it was earlier that day, she had posted a photo of her and Dimitri together. So there has been lots of speculation that Ashley and Dimitri are no longer together, although he did give her a shout out for her birthday. So we will see, I guess, what happens. It seems to me that Ashley and Dimitri are very different off camera than they are on camera. I think that they put on an act. I think they're much more sinister off camera. I think both of them have a need to control. Actually, when my husband has been on the show, we've talked about the fact that I always felt like Dimitri has sex with the women that Ashley allows him to. It's not even really about Dimitri. It's about what Ashley wants. You can even see in this last episode where Taylor was like, I don't want to leave, I just want to stay. Dimitri looked to Ashley to make that decision. So I'm having a hard time imagining a scenario where it's only Dimitri being like the controlling, manipulative, abusive one. I can absolutely believe, and I think it's most likely that it's the both of them. And that's super, super sinister. And yucky. Anyways, you guys, let me know what you think. I'll link all the articles so you can read, and I'll continue to post and keep you guys up to date because this really is like unraveling as we speak. I just kind of wanted to get on here to give my initial thoughts. And anyways, make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Reality Squad. I will have a video coming where we talk about Extreme Sisters. I wanted to get that out today also. But there's a lot going on in our lives right now. So that's going to hopefully come tomorrow. Anyways, you guys take care. Have a good one. Much love. Bye-bye.